This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Well, hey guys, can you feel that? Is it that funny already?
Yeah, the way you said. Hey guys.
Hey, there's winds in the east. There's a mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. It's Baconsale.
Was that from something?
Oh, you don't know what that is? It's
No.
Mary Poppins.
Oh, yes.
Wow, you guys dropped the ball on that.
We dropped the ball. When the east wind blows or something like that, or the north wind blows.
Yeah, something like that.
When your intro blows.
Oh,
That intro was awesome.
I know. I love you, Jake.
That was a top tier intro for me,
welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Ken.
and it's related to the frickin' show. And Jacob,
Whoa, take it easy.
Is it though?
it is.
Is it? We'd like to thank you for your feedback on our We Ate Everything at Burger King show.
It all made it worth it,
Did we do that?
right?
What, the feedback made it worth
The
it?
feedback made the feeding worth it.
The 17 comments we got was worth the over $200 we spent
It was
on.
worth at least the 13 calories we ate
Yeah, there were at least 13 combined.
and the hundreds of dollars we spent.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
No, actually, I wanted to bring up one of the comments that made me laugh from JT Williams. Because I don't know if you remember during the show, I said something about the Burger King meat being made of capybara, and you're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's a rodent."
Yeah.
it's a big rodent, like
It's Portuguese, right?
it's Brazilian. And
Okay.
But JT Williams said, "Joel, I have to call you out for the comparison of capybaras to Burger King meat. Having eaten both, I can confirm that capybaras taste way better than Burger King." And I said, "Are you serious?" And he says he served his mission in Uruguay, close to Brazilian border, and he had capybara and armadillo.
What?
Which I was like, that's bizarre. And then he found it, and then he says, didn't find out till I came home that armadillos carry leprosy. But I still recommend capybaras. And I was like, leprosy, what? Apparently armadillos can carry the leprosy bacteria.
Wow.
And so you can get leprosy by eating armadillos.
Well, the
So-
kid doesn't have to worry about that. That's an unclean meat.
yeah. Thank you,
I don't
Jake.
think armadillos are listed in the Bible.
I think they are. Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's
Those
next
are
week,
not
guys.
kosher. Those are
Save
no
it for our
way.
September
those are kosher.
shows of our biblical shows.
I'm looking up right now. Are armadillos kosher?
We also would like to talk about patreon.com/Baconsale. We actually had a meeting tonight where we came up with some new incentives we're probably going to announce in the next week or so.
Yep. Probably next week.
Maybe through Facebook Live, but also on the next episode. But we want to come up with some stuff. And considering we're entering the fall season, and
Yes.
fall for us means Halloween.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're probably going to try to
So
do
excited.
like almost not 2 months of shows of Halloween, but our incentive is going to be Halloween based. And so please jump on Patreon. We'll be giving information here and especially there, and you'll be entered to win there. And we just cannot wait for all of you to take part in our Halloween shows because it's our favorite time of the year.
I don't think armadillos
It really
are kosher.
is.
I'm looking at this right now.
They're not kosher.
I don't think armadillos are kosher.
Okay, I can never eat one then.
You just
Apparently.
ate lobster tonight.
That's not kosher.
Lobster's not kosher?
No.
It was
Did you
imitation
see-
lobster.
did you see that
Shellfish.
Seinfeld episode?
It was kosher imitation lobster. That's a thing, right?
I don't think so. But what are we talking about today, Jacob?
Tonight it's time to look into the future, gentlemen. We're going to
future?
see what movies are going to suck and what movies are going to be great this fall.
Not just fall. Fall and winter.
Well, yeah, the rest
To
of the
the
year.
end of the year.
To the end of 2018.
I noticed that when I was looking things up, I was like, yeah, fall movie preview, and they're like September, October, and I'm like, what about the rest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we call it fall movie preview sometimes just because that's what people call it. It's like award season. Right. Call it these last couple months.
Yeah.
But it's from September to December. Every movie that comes out, Kent and I have gone through and watched them all and are going to tell you what's good. We went to the future and watched them, and now we're coming back to talk about
I
it.
know, it's kind of great, right?
Yeah.
Although sometimes we get it wrong.
Yeah. No, we watched a lot of movie previews.
Well, for example, so last year, we listened to last year's episode where we did the end of 2017 movie preview. And Joel, you got some real nuggets in that episode.
Well, I just had so much fun because the whole premise of last year's end of movie preview was like, okay, guys, we know we're all excited
for two movies.
for The Last Jedi and
Justice
League.
And we said we can't even include those in our top 5 most
'Cause they're gonna be the
anticipated
number ones.
Because, yeah, it's just unfair.
And we had great quotes of Jacob saying, like, you know what? I think this is going to be the best Star Wars ever. And in Ryan Johnson's capable hands, this is going to be the best Star Wars movie ever.
Did I say ever?
Thankfully,
I think you said. I think you did say all
Ever,
time.
yeah.
Thankfully, I knew that The Last Jedi was going to be a bad movie.
No,
so I
you
could
didn't.
just predict
No,
that.
because then you were like, I predict it's going to do much better. It's going to be much better than Force Awakens. That was your prediction.
Because I liked Ryan Johnson. I also
remember
trust
when we
liked-
used to like Ryan
That was
Johnson?
past tense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And then Justice League, I'm like, I'm a little worried about Zack Snyder leaving, but, and then Jake was like, Joss Whedon. Hopefully Joss Whedon just cleans it up, when it was just an abomination.
It was.
So we were so off. And generally, when we do these movie previews, we usually do a beginning of the year for the whole year, summer, and then the end of the year. And we're about 3 out of 5 for each one.
On the bright side, at least Thor Ragnarok was great, like I expected. So good.
What?
I don't think we included it. I think we all kind of went,
it didn't come up at all. If I brought it up right at the end, I think.
Yeah.
It was like, what about Thor Ragnarok? We haven't even mentioned that.
It's just a drinking game.
But what
Jake
we're
has,
saying
he has
is-
to bring up Thor again.
It is.
But what we're saying is we're going to get it right this time.
Are we?
Well,
We would like to. We would like to be.
First of all, let's talk about the summer. Kent,
Joel, did you see any movies this summer?
I saw the biggest blockbusters of the summer in March and April.
You did. Oh, and wait, was it April? Yeah, Avengers was April,
Yep.
wasn't it?
What was just before that?
Black Panther was in February.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is like
So you saw 2 Marvel
I saw
movies this
the
year.
biggest summer movies in the spring,
Hey, well, there was still Mission Impossible.
which I didn't see. Yet.
Yeah, so you didn't see Jake. Did you see Mission Impossible?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Have we not talked about this? We'll
We
talk
have.
about it later. We'll talk about it offline, as they say.
Well, but I'm intrigued to know because I just
bits.
felt like that summer kind of it peaked early,
Yes.
and then it was like, oh, there's not really any big.
It peaked early,
things
and then
going
there
on.
was one highlight
You guys have
in
the
the
list
actual
up? Was there
summer.
anything in June? Because
was it?
July was Mission Impossible, right?
Yeah,
And surely that wasn't the only big title.
Okay, guys, you ready?
it was,
Yeah.
and don't call me Shirley,
June had Ocean's 8
Yep, that doesn't count.
and Jurassic
which
Park.
I saw. I didn't see Jurassic World. I saw Ocean's 8.
It was remarkably lame.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, didn't you think so?
Yeah, it was. Look, I actually like the style, the filmmaking of the movie, but it's 2 different movies put together, meant to be a thriller to scare children, and neither one works.
Yeah, it was mishmash. I didn't know what it was.
Well, and I didn't see that movie or Mission Impossible or
Did you see
Solo.
Incredibles?
I did see Incredibles.
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't actually see
Incredibles.
that one. Was it
I
good?
saw Incredibles too. No, well, okay, I shouldn't
No,
say no.
yeah, no, it was-
I shouldn't say
it
no.
was
It's
good.
not as good as the original.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the bar it was up there.
It goes more blockbuster than like literary. Like there's no substance to it. I guess. Is probably
Jacob,
a better
did you
way to
see
say it.
Solo?
Yeah,
So you guys both saw Solo.
Yeah.
I had to think because I forgot.
I was that was one that I was like, yeah, it could be good. And then it wasn't even like the bad press scared me off. I just didn't make time for it. And then
Right.
I was like, I'll wait till ClearPlay makes me review it.
It was just
Yeah.
fine.
I liked it.
It was good.
But B minus.
Like, yeah, it was okay.
But it's funny because I think a lot of other people did the same thing of like, I'll see it when it comes out later.
Yeah, and so no one saw it. It lost so much money.
it made me sad though because it didn't deserve all the disinterest that it got. But
No, it's
but
the
it
way-
didn't turn heads either, which is what it needed to be.
This
I
is a
guess.
summer where some of the biggest movie news was about a movie called Show Dogs and about its naughty content.
how they had to re-edit the movie, this kid's movie, because it was too.
Yeah, because everything else came out and just kind of came and went. I mean, Deadpool 2, where everyone's like, oh,
saw that.
That's fine.
Pretty choppy on ClearPlay, but I saw it.
There's Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is a big Marvel movie, but
Which I like that one more than
Forgot
you
about
guys.
that.
But yeah,
but-
I forgot it came out.
But then we had
That did not make an impression. I guess.
Skyscraper with The Rock, Mamma Mia 2.
I saw Skyscraper as well.
Yeah, and what did you think about it?
It was very mediocre.
So
Yeah.
that's
It's just
what I-
basically watching The Rock. It's like the most interesting thing in that movie was how well built The Rock is for how old he is. Right? It's just
Take
like
it
it's like,
easy.
man, dude, you're tough.
that's
That's
basically
cool.
what every Sylvester Stallone movie is now.
Yeah, that's your story.
Like,
But
you're
no, and
70.
so that's just it, listener. We didn't do a lot of bacon bits this past summer of movie reviews, and it's not because Kent was ditching us for his social life. It's because all
It's
the movies
not.
were just mediocre.
It's not just because of that. I think is what
It's
you
not
mean to say.
just because of that.
Hey, I took the listener to Mission Impossible, which was the highlight of the summer.
You took the
True.
listener to the best movie of the summer.
best movie of the summer, and I'm so glad
Who
you
would have
picked that
thought
one.
though? Like that, out of all the movies that came out, that was going to be the best one.
She
of the
actually
summer.
requested
That
a
was
whole
my
bunch of
most
movies,
anticipated.
and all the movies she picked before were just mediocre ones, like Solo or Jurassic World. And I'm like, let's do Mission Impossible, and it turned out to be such a reward for us both. It was awesome.
Did you hear that, Joel? That Kent's the reason we didn't get to go to that.
Yeah.
No, it's the
Not
listener.
not
Blame the listener.
No, it wasn't
I'm not
the
blaming the listener.
No,
How
it's
dare
definitely
you?
the listener's fault.
One of the perks of being the listener is that we don't blame you for things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now we can blame Sam though. All we
Okay,
want.
yeah, blame Sam.
Thanks a lot, Sam.
Listener and emeritus. I would give this summer, considering I saw a lot. Oh, actually, there was a highlight here. I'm going to take a little minute, but Alpha was pretty good.
That's not summer. Oh, I guess it
was.
still is.
It came
It's
out
August.
a month ago.
Yeah.
and
Alpha
it was-
Dogs?
It was the movie about the dog and the cave boy, and it actually ended up being pretty solid, or like an IMAX experience.
But was it solid because it was a good movie, or was it solid because your expectations were so low that even passable would be good?
Yes. The second one.
Okay.
But leaning towards like a cool survival movie experience. But as far as the summer goes,
But they
and remember,
mistreated animals.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Infinity War, but it was a big summer spectacle, so I have to respect it for that. But I give this summer probably a C-.
There wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
I'm playing my hand here a bit, if I may.
Okay.
Four Kings. I feel like the end of year is lacking as well.
Then would you say the whole year is lacking?
This may be, well, maybe they did. The movie that peaked early, because I was looking at the list of movies that are coming out from September to December of 2018, and I kept looking at it going, man, there's not a lot of like big tent pole, booming blockbuster movies here.
Right.
And it kind of was disappointing. And then I started looking at all the hipster ones that you enjoy. And as I was looking through them, I'm like, a lot of these aren't, my interest is passing at best on some of these.
Yeah.
And yet I was able to compile a list of movies I was excited for. But even then, it's not like I'm like chomping at the bit to see them. It's like, oh yeah, when that comes out, I'll be excited for it.
Well, even a lot of typically Sundance movies will be screened in October, November, and they'll be like the Oscar winners.
Now,
hopefully.
when you say that, you're saying that movies that were shown at Sundance back in
Yes.
January,
and then purchased.
then purchased by a distributor, will kind of
then-
sit on the shelf for a while, and then they
Yes.
release them right before Oscar season.
Exactly.
Now,
But they're
why do they do that? Why do they wait so long?
Because they know they're solid, and Oscar season is October through December, and they know that Academy voters have like the low short-term memory, and so yes, they have to vote for a movie they just barely saw.
So when you say Academy Award season, like any movie in the year could be nominated.
Yeah, but think about it.
But they primarily release them at the end of the year, so
Yes.
it'll be fresh in the mind of the Academy members.
Yes, and there really aren't any of those movies except for maybe one or two, which we'll mention.
Joel, I have to both agree with you and disagree, because the end of the year, it's like, yeah, there's no huge. Well, there's actually a couple. I mean, Aquaman, Mary Poppins, these are pretty big headliners. But
I'm just saying, you just put Aquaman and Mary Poppins
I like that
as the 10 poles.
It's
of the-
2018,
Those are
and
big.
you mentioned Mary Poppins and The Guy Who Talks to Fish.
Okay,
as
seriously.
the two biggest movies.
well, what's bigger than Mary Poppins, though? Honestly,
No, but when
What?
you have the boom pow of like last year when it's like a Star Wars one and a DC one.
Yeah.
And then this came out
And
and
this
it's
year
like,
we have a Harry Potter sequel, sort of.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is there's a lot of diversity. Like, there's tons of, like you said, it's kind of interesting. There's like a lot that I'm like, okay, there's a lot of potential here. There's no huge tentpoles, but I almost prefer that, because when we have Justice League coming up and I'm all like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then I get Justice League, right?
Right.
This time I'm like, I don't know, is the Predator going to be good?
No.
Let's find out.
No, it's not.
It's Shane Black. I kind of wonder.
and Shane Black was in the original movie.
What?
Yeah, he's the guy with glasses in the original movie. He's like one of the main team. He gets skinned.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah. So he's coming back to and that part's cool.
From the guy who was in the first Predator.
No, but he's done stuff since.
He's actually quite talented.
Yeah, he's very
he directed
talented
the most
guy.
Christmassy movie of all time.
Yeah.
He
That's
did Die
true.
Hard?
No, he didn't
Incredible.
do Die Hard. Die Hard, according to Bruce Willis, is not a Christmas movie.
But then what did he say after
Didn't
that?
he just write?
I don't remember.
He said
I
something
don't
really
think
naughty.
he didn't direct those, did he?
No, he directed. No, did he write or direct?
I think he just wrote
He directed Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, but he also has directed some
Nice guys.
nice guys.
And
And
we're not talking about Shane Black today, guys.
This is a Shane Black episode.
It was Richard Donner who directed.
Yeah, that's right, Richard
okay,
Donner.
He wrote it. Anyway, but Jacob, I agree with you and I disagree with you, because I like it when Hollywood is able to put forth original content that isn't a sequel
Right?
or prequel
No,
or
yeah.
reboot.
There is a bit
But
of
if you
that,
look
though.
at these movies, it's a sequel, prequel, or reboot. It's just not one of the big ones.
Well, I actually think it's kind of weird, too, because at the end of the year, we were talking about Oscar season. I can only see just a handful of movies that could be nominated if they turn out to be good. And I remember last year we had the same problem where we were thinking, what's going to be the big movie? Shape of Water? Who expected that to be an Oscar winner?
You were one like, that's one of my most anticipated,
And
because
it
I like
was.
people who love fish.
But who would have thought a fish love movie would have won the Oscar for Best
Glub,
Picture?
glub, kiss, kiss.
Because sometimes
I was
there's
waiting
movies
for
like
that.
12 Years a Slave where you know it's going to win the Oscar.
There's a couple of Oscar bait ones in here that I was like, that's probably going to get a nomination, but it was not any that I was looking forward to.
You know, guys, we need to just go ahead and start, because I want to start bringing up titles, but that's the whole point of the list. So
All right.
Let's do it.
So we're going to bring up our top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year. And then we are going to bring up our bottom 5.
Least anticipated.
So movies
Or
we're
ones
looking forward to.
Do we hope they bomb?
We hope
or is
they
that
bomb.
mean-spirited?
No, that's the spirit I went into it. Was like, I hope these ones bomb.
That sounds so mean, especially for the ones I
Really does.
picked.
It's like these people that have put years in their life into these things.
Or maybe
I hope you
3
burn.
days.
Yeah. Or maybe 3 days in some cases. Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll get there.
Okay.
so I'm going to start first.
And it's still going number 5 most anticipated. Ken.
Exactly. My 5th most anticipated movie of the year is Creed 2.
Really?
Creed came out
Which is the
3 years ago.
Which is a sequel to a spin-off of a sequel.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure we're on the page
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's right.
It is an extension
Creed-
of the Rocky
Creed was good,
franchise.
though.
Creed was good because
Yeah.
it was a surprise.
It was a surprise.
You going to read the synopsis?
Yes, I am. Under the tutelage of Rocky Balboa.
Tutelage.
Thank you. Newly crowned light heavyweight champion Adonis Creed faces off against Victor Drago,
I can't believe you did not
the
do that.
son of Ivan Drago.
I know. No,
That
see,
part's so bad.
that's
No.
why I'm off this
You-
boat, Kent.
You should not be surprised here, though.
I'm off this boat as soon as they said, "Oh yeah, it's Apollo Creed's son,
Sure.
Adonis Creed." First of all, I never liked the Adonis thing, and secondly, when they're like Drago's back, I'm like, "What? It's Victor Drago instead
My
of
son
Ivan
must
Drago?"
break you.
No,
But here is why this is going to be hopefully great, because the second best Rocky movie is Rocky 4. And they are
wait,
jumping.
whoa! What's the first?
It's Rocky.
No.
Rocky's not the best Rocky movie?
Well, okay.
Yeah, what
the
is-
Oscar
are we
winner
going-
Rocky? Are we going with best here, or are we going with
Best.
coolest?
Okay, it goes best, then coolest.
Best.
So best.
It's
Okay,
definitely
so don't say
coolest
second
is fourth.
best. Just say best and then coolest.
Okay, best then coolest. This will be the second coolest Creed movie. Because, yeah, it's stupid to have basically sons face off against each other, but it's Creed.
It's lazy.
Taking on this. No. Whoa, hold on.
It's lazy.
But it's.
Who can he fight?
It's gimmicky, is what it is.
It's gimmicky, which doesn't actually feel like it belongs in the Creed franchise because the last one was really serious.
Right?
It was
Yeah.
a drama.
I think they're going to make up for it, is what they're going to do. Right?
I feel like they're jumping from Rocky, because Rocky 1 was a
Yes.
serious drama. Rocky 2 was a serious drama.
was.
Rocky 3 got campy. Number 4 is Ultra Camp Awesome.
All the way. Ultra Camp Awesome was the subtitle.
So they jumped, though. I feel like they're going from Rocky 1 to Rocky 4 in one move.
You're right. It doesn't feel like it fits, but at the same time, I don't want to sit through 4 movies of Creed being real heavy and morose, only to get to the Ultra Camp Awesome. Like, this feels like it's just jumping
You don't
all
want
the
to see
way.
Fat Apollo?
No, I do not. But and also Sylvester Stallone.
Battlestar reference.
Yeah. Fat Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we say
Adama.
that? Yeah. So here's the thing, though. I mean, we're going to see Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone on screen together. They're not really the greatest actors when they're on screen together, even though Stallone does a great job in these movies.
They're just going to stare at each other, too.
right.
They're not going to have long conversations. They're just going to stare at each other from across the ring.
But think about it. This is where lives are threatened. And if you've seen the trailer, it gives some stakes to what he's like. You have
He
Creed's
eats
girlfriend.
steaks as he's training.
Yeah, from Outback Steakhouse.
Crikey.
But even his girlfriend is like, no, you shouldn't do this. Like, why? What is the need? Why would you fight?
Because if you don't know, spoiler alert for Rocky 4, Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed in an exhibition boxing match in
Yes.
the ring.
Yes.
He just hits him too many times and Apollo's too old and can't take it, and Dolph Lundgren's been juicing up on steroids.
Yep.
And
Think about
so
it.
they're just playing up that fact again.
We have unrest with the Russia in U.S. right now. This could be the second most American movie of all time after Rocky 4. And honestly, here's the thing. If this movie's overly serious and doesn't have 4 montages, I'll actually be disappointed.
It's going to be bad.
It could be serious.
And I'm hoping it will be serious because the filmmakers know what they're doing. They actually have like a formula to follow after Creed. But
probably will
actually,
be.
I think boxing movies are pretty cool even when they're campy.
It's
I
a
am-
sequel to a spin-off of a sequel.
That doesn't mean it's bad.
I'm just saying, we're reaching inception
if-
levels
but-
of reboots here.
If there's any series that can pull this off, it's the Rocky franchise. Because even after Rocky 5, which ruined the entire thing, Rocky Balboa came out and it's about a video game, but it's still a cool movie. And then Creed came out and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love the whole
But
tie in, the love letter.
The Rocky franchise has a history of hits and misses. Where
Mostly
it's like,
hits.
this one's
Mostly
good,
hits.
this one's bad. This one's good.
No, there's just like one bad one, really.
3 isn't great.
No, 3's fun, though.
3's fun. Clubber Langs.
Wasn't that called? It's just cool. Is that the one? Is like the coolest one?
The fourth one is the coolest.
It's got the best.
Those are
It's got,
Camp
it's got Eye of the Tiger going for it. So
Yeah.
good for
Okay,
them.
so that is my number 5
All right.
choice. Joel?
My number 5 comes out December 21st, and it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it's Welcome to Marwen.
Oh my gosh, really?
You hipster.
I will
What are
pay
you doing
money
here?
not to have to watch that.
Oh, what?
Just his weird face in the cover. I don't like it. It's
Wait,
unnatural.
Steve Carell's face?
What?
Yeah.
You hate his face?
Yeah,
Michael
because it's
Scott.
all plasticky.
He's
and
the silver fox, according to Lindsay.
oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So I'm going to read the plot synopsis here, as I do in my movie trailer voice. A victim of a brutal attack finds a unique and beautiful therapeutic outlet to help him through his recovery process.
This does not seem like a movie you would pick.
No, but here's the thing.
What are you, me?
Is I watched the trailer, and it's Steve Carell plays this guy who's brutally attacked, and he copes by kind of setting up these little sets of dolls,
Yes.
and then like playing with them to kind of reenact fears and things like that. And so Steve Carell in a more serious role, which he does pretty well with serious
He does.
roles. And then it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, who directed Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like,
And a lot of bad ones.
he did have a
Flight.
lot of bad ones, sure. Flight was mediocre.
I hated Flight.
But I just
Hate
feel
it?
like
Really?
Hated.
Huh. I
But
didn't
you did The
hate it.
Walk, which I really liked.
oh, was that's the with the
Man on
Man on
Wire.
Wire. Yeah, I can't remember his name, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But I feel like Welcome to Marwen is one that looked creative and unique enough that I'm like, okay, this one could be fun. And then when I saw it was directed by Robert Zemeckis, I went, I'm in. I'm
Is
excited.
it
for this
the
one.
Wes Anderson like quirk vibe that you like about it?
It's a little bit that. It's something original,
It
which
is.
I like seeing original content. And this feels, it's not a reboot, it's not a sequel, it's not a remake. This is an original story, and it could be told in an interesting way.
Well, it's a biography, right? Isn't it? It's based on real.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, not yet.
What is it, like your neighbor across the street who's just weird and collects dolls? Is it based on him? Like,
Pretty much, right?
Although I'm going to feel really bad if it's about a man who's truly been struggling.
No, I'm sure that's what it. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Oh, inspired by Jeff Malmberg's 2010 documentary Marwen Call.
Kent's a jerk.
It's official. I'm a jerk. But you can make documentaries about anyone these days, so.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But no, I feel like this one, it just intrigued me. That when I saw the trailer, I went, okay, this is unique enough. I would like to see this movie.
See, I'm turned off by it because it's sad. It makes me feel sad. Like guy is trying to emotionally cope with things, so he makes dolls and it's just. It's
But then there's
It's a
puppet
little too close
bloodshed.
to home.
exactly.
There's like robot chicken style mayhem.
At home, I have dolls that I've carved out that look like you guys, so I can reenact the show so they go better.
Well, we gotta go. Jake, you stay here in the bacon cave.
That's cool.
Ooh, awkward. It's my number 4 is probably my most mainstream one.
I think you're gonna put my list to shame.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Joel's gone hipster.
Comes
Yeah, he
out
is.
October 5th, and it is Venom.
Okay.
So I chose Venom, not because I'm a huge Venom fan, because he is like, the lesser of Spider-Man's villains. He's not the arch nemesis at all.
He is definitely not Green Goblin.
Not Green Goblin either. Well, I'll just read the plot synopsis here. When Eddie Brock acquires the power of a symbiote, he will have to release his alter ego Venom to save his life. This is starring Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Woody Harrelson. It's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who directed Zombieland. And
Yeah.
that's what tipped me.
Okay.
Is Zombieland was just this good combination of horror and comedy. And not that there was a lot of comedy in the trailer for Venom.
No.
And its attempt at
Well,
comedy.
sure there was. He had a little speech.
That's the
to the guy in
problem.
the gas station.
That's the problem, is when they tried for humor, it didn't quite land. But I still...
It landed like a turd in the wind. What do you mean?
That's
so bizarre.
I like that I can get away with that if I'm quoting a movie.
Yeah. But that's just it, Ken, is I feel like having seen Spider-Man 3, having seen what Venom was like before, this Venom looked much more menacing.
Yeah.
And powerful, more so
Right.
than Topher Grace, which I actually like Topher Grace. I have no issue with him.
I do.
But as Venom, it just wasn't working.
Is it his face, Kent, or
Yeah, well, it's the fact that they show his face so much.
I know it's kind of a bummer.
This Venom looks like Venom. It looks like the comic Venom or the animated series Venom.
And I'm hoping, because there's that part in the trailer when half of the Venom face comes down, you can see Tom Hardy inside.
Yeah.
And he's like, "We are Venom." And I thought to myself, I hope they don't do that. I hope they just let Venom be Venom, because that's what people want to see.
Well, I'm quite curious as to where they're going, because they want to establish this Spider-Man universe outside of the Marvel rights.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see how Sony does this.
Because like they want him to be an anti-hero,
Right.
and they want him to fight other symbiotes. But like, then where do you go from there? Because you're going to have Venom face off against Tom Holland at some point.
He has to face off against Spider-Man.
Then what happens? Who do you cheer for?
But that's
probably the point.
That's the one thing I'm concerned about. That's kind of why it's lesser on the list.
Okay.
Is because I'm concerned that they're going to try to make, like, I do like the tagline, "The world has enough superheroes."
Right.
When that came on, I was like, yes, that's a good sentiment to play off of. But Venom's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's got to be a bad guy. This has to be kind of like a split scenario where he's just a bad guy. And you hope that down the road he gets caught. And so, but I'm hoping when they come together, when Sony and Marvel hopefully come together with a Spider-Man Venom matchup, that it will be a bad guy versus a good guy, and not a bad guy who's trying to be a good guy, but he can't resist the bad.
That's what's going to happen.
That's totally what's going to happen. What's this rated, Joel?
Right now, it's between a PG-13 and an R.
Yeah, I hadn't heard the official thing.
Yeah, they
Please be R.
They want it.
Please.
Please be PG-13.
Please be rated R.
They want it to be PG-13 so that they can dovetail it into the Marvel universe without missing a beat.
chews heads off.
Kent, he's a comic book character.
Yeah, but he's Venom.
They did it.
He's a killer.
Kent, let me just point this out here: is that they did Venom perfectly fine as a PG rating in the cartoon.
In a cartoon, though.
Right. And I'm saying that they can do it. If they can do it PG in a cartoon, they can do it PG-13 in live action.
You see this trailer, and he is like, there are so many thugs coming against him, and you know he's killing them.
Yeah.
But they're going to show it like off screen. Basically, if I see the Meg version of Venom where it's just like real, just there's no blood,
but what if it's
I'll be really disappointed.
But what if it's more of a Dark Knight version where it's violent, but it's not
I don't
gory.
expect someone like Ruben Fleischer to make the Dark Knight.
No. But I'm saying you can show violence, you can show death,
Yeah.
and not be excessive about it. And so I actually don't care what the rating will be.
Right.
But I know a lot of people will be mad if they made it PG-13, and I'm not one of them because I'm like, it's fine if they can make it.
I can see why you'd want it to
But
be
if they can make a
PG-13.
decent movie and do the character justice and keep it PG-13, I'm all for that.
Yeah. And also the tone seems a bit weird. Like from the trailer, it seems like honestly, and this would be wish fulfillment, I would squee in the theater if I saw Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man go up against this Venom because it looks like it belongs. Like visually,
Because it's the Sony universe.
it looks like the Amazing Spider-Man tone.
I just wish you could squee, but I don't think it's going to happen.
We're gonna have to
Ken.
watch Split again.
Yeah.
Would you imagine? Can you imagine if they brought Andrew Garfield back for their
I
own
would die.
Spider-Man?
I would die. See, I'm almost squeeing right
There's
now.
no way, though. There's no way that Marvel would
I
be
don't know
like,
what
yeah,
that means.
go squeeze.
You're welcome.
It's better to imagine.
There's no.
Was it?
So is Venom, but there's no way they're going to let Andrew Garfield. They're going to say, Tony, you have your own
Yeah.
Spider-Man. We're going to have our Spider-Man,
Especially because of the dissolution of that relationship between Andrew Garfield and Sony. Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna, but it would be fun because it does seem like it belongs in that universe. If Andrew Garfield were still playing Spider-Man, I think it'd be a good fit.
I have hopes for it. But
or he
it's not
shows
my
up
top five.
and then Venom kills him.
Yeah.
right at the beginning,
Even that.
Oh my gosh.
right at the
That would be
beginning, he
shocking.
just bites off Andrew Garfield's head.
Even that, I would be stoked. All right, so my number 4 is Halloween. Comes out October
Seriously?
19th.
The remake of the
guys-
reboot of the sequel.
You guys keep surprising me.
I'm kind of a reboot, remake, sequel guy.
This is seriously like the
you're not.
third remake of this movie.
Yeah. Hold on, though. Laurie Strode comes to her final confrontation, or second, with Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago.
Which brings up a question.
Please ask.
Is this a direct following of the first Halloween or a Halloween 2?
John Carpenter said this is Halloween 2. This follows literally one movie, and that is Halloween. Even though, and I know there's many sequels here, especially Halloween 3,
Yeah,
which is
Season of the
one of the
Witch.
best. But Halloween H2O was actually a really great sequel on its own to the first Halloween because H2O, it's Halloween 20 years later, where she's like working at a college.
Yeah, so
Laurie
they've
Strode
already
is.
had Laurie Strode come back once in this
and
franchise.
now it's been 20 years
Jamie Lee
later.
Curtis.
And granted, she was killed in the very next movie in a really stupid Halloween movie. But now it's 20 years later. If they just erased that movie where she died, I wish they continued there because this is saying she was tormented 40 years ago. Her brother went away, and now she's ready for him to come back.
But here's my problem.
Sure.
Is that Halloween 2 literally picks up right where Halloween 1 left off.
Yes.
And it's not a bad sequel.
No.
So why not pick up after that?
But it's more of the same. I think they want to keep it fresh, and I actually think
They want to keep the Halloween franchise fresh.
know.
Rob Zombie, he tried to keep it fresh.
No,
2 years
Rob
ago.
Zombie, that was rotten. That was
Wasn't
not,
that 2 years ago?
No, it was 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, the third sequel to the Rob Zombie reboot.
Stop it. But here's the thing. The trailer appealed to me, and I actually like the writers. Like, I think they actually
Who are the writers?
care. So it's David Gordon Green and actually Danny McBride.
Yeah.
I don't love him as an actor, but these two, and they're comedic writers, this is a passion project for them to write a follow-up to the first Halloween. They sent it to John Carpenter. He gave his thumbs up.
The timeline is so confusing, though.
It's so confusing, but look, this movie looks really creepy, and the trailer really sold me.
okay.
And honestly, the first Halloween is one of the best scary movies ever because it's just this standard slasher flick that makes Michael Myers scary in the daytime.
Yeah.
What movie does that?
Which is good.
And H2O surprised me as well.
The only thing good to come out of the Halloween franchise post-Halloween, the first movie, is the updated Tyler Bates version of the Halloween theme song. That's
okay,
it.
that's it. Oh, I like H2O, actually. And Silver Shamrock? What's wrong with that? Are you a hater?
I just think that I like Halloween, the movie. Everything else that came after that, pale in comparison.
But still, this movie comes out October 19th. It's a week and a half before the actual Halloween day. I love seeing scary movies that actually come out in October.
That's always fun.
And so this
Of course,
will
then
be
it feels
kind
more
of,
when they're still in theaters in December, and you're like, we're
you're
going
like,
to see it.
hey, yeah.
Okay.
It comes out on DVD over Christmas. But for some reason, this movie is, and I don't care for like Friday the 13th remakes or Nightmare on Elm Street remakes, but this one, considering who is involved in Jamie Lee Curtis, that it seems like people actually care. Please care.
I think it's just you.
it might just be me.
I just worried they're going to Sarah Connor, Laurie Strode, when she's not the tough girl. She's the survivor.
Well, that's what's going to happen. Even the
Yeah.
trailer shows her as this. She's ready. She's been taking gun classes and all this
Yeah.
stuff. But then that's not going to play out in the movie. She's going to feel confident, and that's not going to last very long.
I want your prediction right now, Kent. Is Laurie Strode going to live or die?
They'll both die together.
She's going to kill Michael together?
Yeah, and she will die.
In an embrace?
Possibly.
Yeah.
They're brother and sister.
Could be.
It's thematic.
I like these predictions because when I go back and listen to this episode a year from now, I'll be
You
like,
can call me out.
Kent was
That's
so
funny.
wrong.
All right, Joel. What's your number 3?
Oh, it does, Kent.
Okay.
Yep. All right, my number 3 is, so I'm going to go hipster on this one, sort of. It comes out October 12th, and it's Bad Times at the El Royale.
This is not hipster. It's the number 3 most anticipated on IMDb.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Well, good. Fantastic. Directed by Drew Goddard, who did Cabin in the Woods. Mm-hmm. He did The Good Place. Mm-hmm. You guys love that show, right?
I do.
And he wrote for like Lost, Buffy, The Martian, and the Daredevil TV show.
The guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
Read the synopsis.
7 strangers, each with a secret to bury, meet at Lake Tahoe's El Royale, a rundown hotel with a dark past. Over the course of one fateful night, everyone will have a last shot at redemption before everything goes to hell.
Dun, dun, dun. Family friendly.
Yeah. Thank you for that. After the dun dun dun.
This trailer, this did not make my anticipated or least anticipated list.
It's right in the middle for you.
It's in the middle because I cannot figure this movie out.
That's the point.
Yeah, that is
and
the
isn't
point.
that awesome?
But I kind of like that because it did a trailer right, meaning that it gives you a feel of what the movie is like it's a
And the
feeling of the
style.
movie without giving too much of the plot away.
Because really, I mean, I read it there, but what I got from the trailer is, Jeff Bridges shows up as this priest who probably is quite shady. Mm-hmm. John Hamm is the hotel manager for a hotel that aligns, like 1950s era, aligns Nevada and California.
So you can stay on the Nevada side or the California side.
So
which is
it's
kinda
got some
fun.
kitsch and everything is neon lights. And then
Hemsworth, yeah.
Chris Hemsworth shows up as almost like a cultist sort of killer guy, but you're not sure.
Yeah.
And everyone has this dark
dancing in the
past.
rain.
You can't really
Yeah.
tell what's going on.
And that's the great thing about it. And the trailer's so well done. It has the energy that I really want from a movie that's a big surprise. And I'm surprised that I didn't even know about this until 2 months ago. And now it's one of my most anticipated movies of the year.
Do you think it's going to be intelligent or just bloody?
Both.
Both?
Yes.
Because both would be the right mix, probably, for this type of movie, honestly. But
Probably so.
Like not quite Tarantino bloody, or like vulgarity or whatnot. But I think as far as like the style goes, very close.
I hope it's PG-13.
There's probably
no way that's happening.
Considering there's like, and it looks like a little bit like Vacancy and also Identity combined.
Yeah. That's the vibe I got.
Yes.
Maybe just because they're both at hotels.
That is my number 3 because I'm just so curious about it.
The trailer is intriguing.
Yes.
And it's colorful. It's got music. Like, it's a very intriguing trailer.
Yes.
One of the better trailers that I watched.
Okay.
But I couldn't put my finger on the movie, so I couldn't put it in either category.
I get that. So what's your hipster number 3, Joel?
My hipster number 3 comes out September 21st, and it's a documentary called Love Gilda.
You did go hipster. I did.
Wow.
I haven't even heard of this.
I'm bowing to you, Joel Hilton.
Thank you. Love Gilda. I'll read the synopsis here.
Your next choice
I'm not
is
going to
Ralph breaks the internet, isn't it?
It has to be.
I'm not going to do movie voice in this one because it is a little more somber, but weaving together recently discovered audio tapes, interviews with her friends, rare home movies, and diaries read by modern-day comedians, Love Gilda offers a unique window into the honest and whimsical world of a beloved performer whose greatest role was sharing her story. So this is the life story of Gilda Radner, which if you don't know who Gilda Radner is, she's one of the funniest comedians I've seen. Like, she's hilarious. She was on Saturday, she was one of the original, I think she was the first cast member who was cast for Saturday Night Live.
Really?
Yeah, and so she was on that first season, one of the greats. I always thought she was hilarious. She did like Rosanna Danaban and that whole thing, and just the nerd sketches I thought were hilarious too. So she was this hilarious comedian, and then she tragically died in 1989. And they found just recently some tapes about her and some of her journal entries, and they're having people read about them and tell their stories of like all these people who knew her, like Chevy Chase and is in it, and Martin Short talks about her. And then they have like modern comedians like Bill Hader and Melissa McCarthy and Amy Poehler, and they're all just kind of reading her story from her own words.
Okay.
And I put this on here because, first of all, I've always thought Gilda Radner was hilarious, and I think her story is very tragic. The trailer got me emotional. Like, I didn't want to get emotional, but I'm watching this trailer, and I was like, oh, man, this hits close to home. And so then all of a sudden it became this emotional journey, and I was like, you know what?
Why is it close to home?
It's just because I always kind of had a fan for her, and like hearing her words of what she thought of, because she struggled with eating disorders. She had cancer later in life. She had some bad relationships. Like, she had a hard life. But she was also this, everyone thought she was so funny and outgoing, and she had all these issues that no one knew about. So hearing her side of the story from her own words was just kind of touching.
Like, as a comedian and entertainer, you're generally pretty tortured anyways.
That's what
she hid so much.
Yeah. Although apparently I read somewhere when I was doing my research on this that she was one of the 3 original cast members of Saturday Night Live who resisted doing cocaine. So
resisted, but eventually gave in. Is that what that means?
I don't know. I didn't read that far into it. I just kind of read that. I was like, that's an odd fact. Also family friendly myself.
Indeed. I like how they just resisted.
You know, every now and then, like,
they didn't decline it. They just resisted. Hey, that's noteworthy. I saw you hesitate.
You resisted. I'm marking that down.
Putting that on Wikipedia in the future.
But I don't get to see as many documentaries as I'd like to these days. And so the fact that the documentary stood out to me so much, I had to put that as my number 3.
Did you see
A Star Is Born is your next one, probably.
Won't You Be My Neighbor? Did you see that one?
I haven't yet. Is it good?
You should. It's great.
Is it going to make me cry?
Yeah, it will. Okay. Everything makes you cry. Come on.
That's
not true.
It's my namesake, after all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Rogers.
Fred.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I should watch it.
Mm-hmm. You should. All right. My number 2. It comes out September 21st. It's directed by Jacques Audiard and stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Joaquin Phoenix, and it's called The Sisters Brothers.
What a curious choice. I am so proud of you.
I don't understand what's happened. Is this like reverse night?
Yeah, I love it.
No, The Sisters Brothers, if you haven't seen this trailer, well, I'll read the plot synopsis here. In 1850s Oregon, a gold prospector is chased by the infamous duo of assassins, the Sisters Brothers. So it's about these 2 guys, Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly. They're brothers, the Sisters Brothers, and they're bounty hunters or assassins. And they go out, and one of the things is this prospector took money from this guy, so they hired them to go hunt him down. And I think the prospector is Jake Gyllenhaal, if I remember right.
I think it is as well.
It's been a while since I've seen the trailer. But this had a very kind of Coen Brothers-esque feel to me, where it was like a true grit Coen Brothers, not like a Raising Arizona, but it had kind of this weird drama comedy feel.
Yeah, I couldn't actually see where the line was.
When you get John C. Reilly, you don't know which side you're going to get.
Yeah,
because he does the drama roles, but he does the goofy comedies too. And this is a darker comedy. Obviously, it's set in the Old West, And this is one of those that stuck out to me from the first time I saw the trailer. I was like, what was that movie again with John C. Reilly? And I was like, oh yeah, The Sisters Brothers. I watched the trailer again and I thought, yeah, this is one I definitely want to see soon.
Yeah.
So The Sisters Brothers.
You're really surprising me. Like, it's crazy. I thought this would be like, Mortal Engines and the house with clock in the walls for you. And
you don't know me at all, do you, Jacob?
I do. I remember your previous choices.
2018 changed me, Jacob.
It has, apparently. All right.
Well,
kid.
I'm Captain.
That wasn't even me last season. That was Pete the intern.
That
being
would
me.
explain it. That would explain it.
The timeline is all screwed up. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Captain Franchise, and so my number 2 is Aquaman.
Thanks again, Captain Franchise.
Seriously.
Aquaman is your number 2?
Aquaman is my number 2.
Crap.
Of course it is.
We're going to match on the number 1.
So this one comes out December 21st with a ton of other movies, but let me read the synopsis. Arthur Curry learns that he is the heir to the underwater kingdom of Atlantis and must step forward to lead his people and be a hero to the world. It's Aquaman, right?
He's the heir to the water kingdom on Earth. Air, water, Earth.
Yeah, that's a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but so we've all seen the trailer. I can only watch one. And so that's the only one.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to see any other spoilers relating to this movie. You watched your one trailer, you're done.
Yes.
No pictures, no synopses, no reviews.
I won't. Should I unfollow everyone on Twitter? Because I follow the cast and like James Wan, who is the director of this movie.
You can follow James too.
Can you see that?
You win.
Dad jokes. So, like I said, James Wan directs this movie. He directed Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring movie, the first 2 Conjuring movies.
Horror. Aquaman.
And Furious 7, which is a big blockbuster movie. Yeah, so this guy really knows what he's doing. He has a style, and it's sometimes inconsistent, but like he knows how to launch a series that generally has worse sequels. Or Furious 7, he stepped into a big blockbuster series that was really well established and made a solid movie of its own and added his own style. He actually cites this movie, and this is what excites me more than the trailer did. He says the adventure films Raiders of the Lost Ark and Romancing the Stone are a major influence on this movie.
Robert Zemeckis.
So I hope that we get more of an adventure movie rather than Reclaim My Kingdom underwater battle movie.
Rather than Black Panther, the underwater movie.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I mean, Aquaman was there first. Just saying.
Not in the theaters.
In comics.
It doesn't matter in theaters, Kent. It's a different world.
It doesn't matter?
I'm saying
Comics don't exist to you?
Kent, what I'm saying is...
I'm saying if there's an influence...
There's the
of
audience,
a magical kingdom that is hidden from the planet.
Kent.
Is Atlantis or Wakanda the original?
If I may quote you.
Oh, here we go.
The slack-jawed yokels only care about what came first in theaters.
So don't be a slack-jawed yokel.
So I'm saying that people will be like, this is a ripoff of Black Panther.
And that's what you've said about 4 times.
That's what they're going to say.
They?
Slack-jawed yokels.
So are you saying it's a ripoff of Black Panther? Hold on, let me write this down.
No, that is not a direct quote from me.
Ripoff.
And look, and we said it before, and I think we even talked about this in Justice League. I was like, I don't think he's a great actor, Jason Momoa. That is, he does have charisma. I remember Jake saying a lot of nice things about Jason Momoa.
I remember you saying some very particularly nice things about his abs.
I don't know what you're talking about. Just because
we can remind you if you
he
want.
has a 12-pack, they're abs on top of abs.
Yeah, where do you want those
That
on
seems
top
unhealthy.
No,
That
stop.
seems unhealthy. Stop.
But I really hope that this movie, and granted it's going to be very CG heavy, that we get something that feels original, even though it's another superhero movie. I hope that Warner Brothers and DC didn't taint the movie too much,
right?
Considering what they did with Justice League. I hope they're giving Aquaman some cinematic due here, because
you think
it's
they learned
Aquaman.
their lesson? That's funny.
Of course not. But it's Aquaman. Whoever thought we'd actually get a legitimate Aquaman movie?
True. That's true. It's probably got a real budget and everything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And if it gets sequels, great. So Aquaman is my number 2.
It didn't make my top. It didn't make my bottom.
So right in the middle as well.
It's right in the middle. And it's because...
Was it the trailer?
It was the trailer.
Okay.
The trailer seems so middle of the road. I've seen this a dozen times that I went, this could go either way.
Sure.
I'm not gonna be...
2018, Joel has changed, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. Honorable mentions, Kent?
Honorable mentions, I have Venom, like you said. Also, Bohemian Rhapsody, which comes out November.
Be good. Could be terrible. Biopics
could be terrible, and in fact,
miss.
it was stalled forever because Bryan Singer is the director. He came into a lot of trouble, and so this one was delayed about 6 months. So it could be relatively unfinished.
It's a really appropriate project for him, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Because he's a singer?
It's just his stylistic
Singer.
Yeah.
Stinger.
So November 2nd, but could be fun because it's Queen music. I hope they just pull it off well. Joel, you're going to hate this, but honorable mention, Fantastic Beasts 2.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Just because the trailer looked fine to me. And I like the first one. So that one comes out the 16th of November. And then finally, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's on my honorable mentions.
This one really appeals to me because of the art style.
The animation is really interesting.
Is this getting a theatrical release?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's animated,
This is Phil
right?
Lord and Chris Miller, who were kicked off of Solo, but they did the Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street.
Cloud Kids Meatballs.
And I always thought this was kind of a weird project for them, like Spider-Man animated. Okay, good job. But it looks like a comic book on screen.
That's what I was going to say. It has a very comic-y style to it, which I like.
Yes.
And it also had little moments of humor and some really cool shots.
Yes.
Like even in the trailer, I was like, that's a good shot.
And as we know, I'm obsessed with multiverses, and this movie is all about the Spider-Verse.
And I'm interested to know more about Miles Morales as
You
as
don't know
Spider-Man.
much about him?
I don't know much. I know
character.
very basic.
Yes.
Like I know the Peter Parker story. It's been done so many times that I'm like, a different story. Let's do that.
And we're going to see both in this movie.
Yep.
Actually, too much. Nicolas Cage is playing one of the Spider-Men.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of
Noir,
Spider-Man in
I
this
think,
one.
Or 2099. Yeah, but we can get real geeky if we want to talk about the Spider-Man.
So yeah, I had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I also have Mary Poppins Returns under my honorable mentions, Jacob.
So it did come up.
It's Emily Blunt. How can I not like Emily Blunt?
Yeah. It's just a problem.
I also have
The movie that no one asked for, Mary Poppins Returns.
We've been surprised by movies we haven't asked for before. Asked for before.
It's true.
I also have A Simple Favor, which comes out September 14th.
Yeah,
and it's because
that looks creepy. And I like Blake Lively playing a very different role.
Yeah.
so Blake Lively, first of all, she's lovely. Second of all, it seemed like a very intriguing premise, and I want to know more. Like the trailer did a good job of giving me just
too.
enough to go, what's going on here? Had kind of a Gone Girl feel to it.
I was just going to say, that gave me that sort of
Yeah.
vibe as
Kind of
well,
Wicker
which I was
Park
really
sort of
impressed
thing.
by.
What?
Wicker Park. Did you ever see that one?
I didn't see Wicker Park.
Okay, you should.
But I probably will have to clear play The Simple Favor.
Yes.
And then finally, my honorable mention, Anna and the Apocalypse. Did you watch that trailer, Kent?
Listen to you. No, I haven't seen the trailer.
So it's a high school zombie musical set during Christmas. So
What?
think like a Zombieland musical in high school era.
So
Like
they're just covering every base. Have they listened to Baconsale and they're like, oh, let's just compile everything they
it was
talk
the
about.
most bizarre trailer I'd seen in a while. I'm like, what is this movie? But I went, this could be good. It could be terrible, but it could be good.
Okay.
So there you go. And then, Kent, you want to say at the same time our number one?
3, 2, 1.
Smallfoot.
I was really hoping.
It's Smallfoot. Guys, you don't understand. It's Yetis who think that humans are the monsters.
It's an animated
it?
movie. We love animated movies.
It's got Channing Tatum.
I thought it was Bumblebee.
Channing Tatum?
Yeah, Channing Tatum
Yeah.
or John Cena. Who they're the same person.
Is it John Cena
No,
or Channing
it's
Tatum?
Channing Tatum.
Okay, I can't remember.
Same person.
Yeah. Why would you want to see Channing Tatum like mumble through an animated movie?
Because you can imagine his abs.
Thank you for that soundbite. But our real number one,
Our number one, and dang it, I knew it. I shouldn't have picked it as my number one because now we're going to match.
First Man.
First Man. Comes out October 12th, directed by Damien Chazelle, who is not Denis Villeneuve, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Because I made that mistake. I was like, yeah, he's the guy that directed this and this. No, wrong. Damien Chazelle.
You're a name racist.
Yeah.
Namist.
Yep.
Damien Chazelle is the guy who directed Whiplash and La La Land.
Oh, 2 of the best movies of the past decade?
and
Weird.
this movie stars Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, Jason Clarke.
Now, you did know this one's based on a true story, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Not
In fact,
your crazy neighbor down the street.
I'll read the synopsis right now. A look at the life of the astronaut Neil Armstrong and the legendary space mission that led him to become the first man to walk on the moon on July 20th, 1969 with a jazz soundtrack.
Actually, not a musical.
Yeah, it's not.
Sadly.
The jazz soundtrack thing I added in.
Because he's so good at
But he's
installing
gonna
music
put
in-
jazz somewhere in this. It's got to be like his director trademark. He's
I
gonna,
hope so.
I mean, it's going to be set in the late 60s. They got to have jazz playing in the background on a radio somewhere.
Yeah.
So I saw early word on this movie, and that's where I'm going to stop reading about this movie. It played at the Venice Film Festival, and that's all I'm going to say. I read a review, sort of.
Yeah, I saw some ratings as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and this movie just seemed very interesting because, first of all, I mean, who doesn't want to know the story of the first man who walked on the moon? That's a pretty
Or how
intriguing
Stanley
story.
Kubrick filmed it. In
Yeah,
a
or how they
soundstage.
faked the moon landing. And secondly, I just think that putting Damien Chazelle in this directorial role just seems like he's going to do something interesting with it. Like, I have faith that he's going to do good.
But can we talk about worries, though? Because
Sure.
this is his first movie. It's his third movie, but first one where he didn't write the script. So I trust him. I trust his movies. I love his movies. but he did not write the script for this one.
He didn't, but we have Ryan Gosling to look at.
I mean, he's no Jason Momoa.
Is this
but
the Man Crush Show Part 2?
He's the boy next door.
Lindsay, come on out. But no, this is easily the number one. This, I think, if it's good, will be one of the forerunners for the Oscar this year.
yeah, it's obviously Oscar.
Even though Damien Chazelle has already got all the love he needs
Is he going to get the
for
Oscar, or are they
Oscars.
going to give it to some other movie after announcing him?
They may do that. Well,
That
remember,
could be it.
he won Best Director. He didn't
He
win
did.
Best
He did.
Picture, but Best Director. And
Should've
so
won
he's
Best Picture.
No, he'll win something for this.
he's no stranger to the getting awards, but this one really does seem like the kind of movie having a biopic and a biopic. Yeah,
I say biopic because biopic sounds like an operation.
yeah, it does to me too. But having something like that is also incredibly visual on an IMAX screen, because they film much of this for IMAX. And so I can't wait to just see this. And we've all seen space travel done in movies really well.
Yes.
Even 20
But this-
some odd years ago.
And
but
this is building up to that too. Like it's
Yes.
showing they had to start from the ground up of how they're going to get to space.
Yeah.
In fact, if I may admit something,
Sure.
one of the reasons this is my most anticipated is because it kind of gave me this faint reminder of the Quantum Leap episode when Sam has to break the sound barrier, and because they're trying to get to that point.
What?
There's a scene where they were
Okay,
flying
what's
through a
going on?
jet, and it made me remind me of Quantum Leap, and then just like, the childhood nostalgia sensors went off, and I was like,
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If, let's say, Sam from Quantum Leap.
Okay, Dr. Sam Beckett.
Dr. Sam Beckett jumped into the body of
Quantum Leap Accelerator?
Arthur Curry, who could talk to fish. Would Aquaman be your number one most anticipated movie of the year?
I think you know the answer to that.
I do.
Yes.
He would be looking the water mirror. Oh, boy.
Way to own that joke. Oh my gosh, what's even happening?
You've made my day.
Yes.
And you kept going.
I just did the Quantum Leap music in bubbles.
Like on the fly.
You'd been rehearsing.
And the show is over, everybody.
yeah, let's just
Nice.
close it with that.
No, let's get to the bashing. This is
Okay.
the fun part.
Now, there's a few actually you guys haven't brought up that I really want
Yeah,
to.
let us know.
But wait till we get to our bashing.
Yeah,
But-
because we're
Can't-
going to bash some, and they might be the movies you bring up.
Okay, I will wait.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start with my number 5, least anticipated, or AKA
Hope
One
It
I Want to
Dies.
Bomb, comes out November 9th, and it's The Grinch,
Yeah.
starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch now. That was actually really close.
Cumberbatch. So, director by Yarrow Cheney, who directed The Secret Life. He was the Secret Life of Pets co-director, so he's directing this one. And Scott Mosier. Plot synopsis: a grumpy Grinch plots to ruin Christmas for the village of Whoville. Have we
soon,
seen that
guys.
already?
Remember when
in
that was
animated
a
form?
great short book or even a great half-hour movie?
Starring Boris Karloff as all the voices with great music,
But you know what I like is when they add filler, like they do with the Lorax.
like they did with. I just blanked on it. Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah.
like they did with the live action Grinch. Like they're just. We have the original animated Grinch from the 60s. We don't need any other. And this one had a very Despicable Me vibe to it.
Yes.
Like when he's like just knocking the jelly off the shelf. And I'm like, he didn't want to be around the Whoville people, the Who's in Whoville. He didn't want to be there. He wanted to be up in the mountains. Why are you putting him down in the store shopping with everybody else?
I hope we see more of his childhood like we did in the live-action movie.
We're going to. You know we're going to. And Benedict Cumberbatch, as much as I think the man has talent and a very good voice, he's not the Grinch.
No.
And it annoys me that they cast him in that role. I think it's just trying to pull people into a movie that no one had any passion for.
Yeah. But remember, Lorax did so well like 4 or 5, it was probably 5-6 years ago.
Did it do well?
Yeah, it really
They
did. It
made,
made a lot of
lots
money.
So much money.
I'm surprised they've waited this long to make this movie or a Cat in the Hat movie, to be honest with you.
I want it to bomb.
This probably shows restraint, honestly.
Yeah,
Which is
hopefully.
sad.
Yeah.
All right, Kent.
All right, my number 5 is an animated movie as well.
Smallfoot?
6 years after the events of Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph and Vanellope, now friends, discover a Wi-Fi router in their arcade, leading them into a new adventure.
The internet.
Ralph breaks the internet.
Not Rex the internet.
Ralph wrecks the internet. It's more alliteration, right? The trailer is funny. It made me laugh. The rabbit eats the pancakes in an app game. Or the Disney princesses are fun when you put them all together.
And they're doing all the original voices, too.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, they're bringing in like everyone from Ariel to Mandy Moore to
I think
Mandy Moore.
Cinderella is the only voice that they don't have.
She passed away, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised they couldn't. Was that insensitive?
It's a little insensitive.
Should I not laugh?
No, it's you.
But here's the thing. I'm not even the biggest fan of Wreck-It Ralph. I think it was a bait and switch. Here's a movie about video games. I mean candy. This movie is like,
it's true.
Let's talk about the internet. I mean Disney internet.
Yeah. Look how cool this Disney internet is. Look at all these cool places that Disney owns.
And I do appreciate that it's meta. I appreciate that the princesses are acting the way that you would imagine them in a big slumber party. It's either all Disney or it's going to turn into the Emoji Movie, where they travel through the phone and through the apps, and there's little nods to things that will be dated in 2 weeks.
Right. But I will admit, as lackluster as the trailer was, Cinderella smashing her glass slipper to use it as a weapon, that was a great moment.
Those scenes were great.
Right.
But once again, it's going to turn into another like car movie because Vanellope is going to be in another car racing game.
Yep.
Like, I just don't know where they're going to go with this one, nor do I really care. I think it'll be visually pretty cool, and hopefully the music will be kind of fun. This is the one with the first one had Sugar Rush.
Yep.
The song was probably the best part of that first movie.
S-U-G-A-R.
So my daughter really
Jump
liked
into your
it.
racing car.
You know, Hollywood has gone underwater. California sank, and so the audio is now...
It's all underwater. It's all bubbles.
So this sounds harsh, but I didn't care for the first one, and this is a sequel well past its prime. It's my number 5.
What's your number 4?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Here's the thing.
Surprised
So this
it's
one
only
comes
4.
out December 21st, and honestly, the trailer sells it pretty well. If this was Transformers 1, and we saw a story of Bumblebee, like basically a girl and her dog, is kind of what it's selling.
Right.
It's a one-on-one relationship, and it almost seems like heartfelt. But then you remember, oh wait, it's the 6th Transformer movie that's meant to launch a brand new franchise.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld looks fine in the movie. Bumblebee, the character, I really loved him in the first I liked him in the first Transformers.
Well, you did say Haley Steinfeld looks fine, too.
Yeah, I want some more.
Hey, at least I haven't talked about anyone's abs in this show. But then
subtext.
But then you remember it has John Cena as some military commander.
Who?
John Cena!
Then you're like, oh wait, he's basically the dumb version of Mark Wahlberg, if that's even possible.
He's a lesser Channing Tatum, is that what you're saying?
Yes. He is a non-charismatic
Mark
version
Wahlberg,
of The Rock.
Level down to Channing Tatum, level down to John Cena.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh wait, this will be another Transformers movie. And I was really excited because I thought Soundwave was going to be in this movie, a Starscream or whatever. But it's just like, oh, it's kind of an origin story in the 1980s, even though you see in the other movies, if they're going to ignore them, Bumblebee save everyone in World War II, and Joel just someone spit out his water, or, help the Knights Templar or whatever. I want this movie to fail because I don't want to see any more Transformers movies, but it's going to continue to happen. And also, it could be good because it's directed by Travis Knight, who did Kubo and the Two Strings. Interesting choice, but just don't succeed. I actually don't want this to be good.
Bumblebee.
Is that wrong?
No, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
It won't be good, and I'm not going to see it.
Well, that's all Hollywood needs to know.
Jacob said he's not going to see it, guys.
They're out.
Scrap it. Do it again.
But we finished the movie.
Too bad. All right,
Joel.
My number 4 is actually Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because...
Well, we're haters.
Director Phil Johnson and Rich Moore. Rich Moore actually did Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia. He directed the original one.
Joel, you hope this fails?
Yes, because...
Have you no heart?
We're in a Mater situation.
Yeah.
Vanellope?
How's this Mater? It's the main character.
No, Vanellope was the annoying side character in Wreck-It Ralph. It was about the story of Wreck-It Ralph trying to, be more than he is.
Yes.
And Vanellope comes along and she's kind of this annoying side character the whole time. I feel like, and I have no basis for this, but I feel like based on the preview that it's going to be the Vanellope story in Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yes.
It's going to be more focused on her. And then we're in a Mater situation where Mater was funny in Cars, but then when you put him as the main person in Cars 2, it's no longer funny because the joke is tired. And Sarah Silverman is annoying. So
really
that.
annoying. And you remember how well Disney does sequels? Let's just leave it there.
I just feel like this is pandering. Like at first when they said, a sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, I was like, I don't know. And then I saw the trailer and I went, pandering.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
everything gets a sequel. Like,
like-
that's just it.
Yeah. What's the coolest website out there?
Frozen
And then they go
2 is
to-
out next year, you know?
Yeah. It's not going to be good either. So yeah, there's my number 4. I'm not going to talk about it much because we're talking about it a lot. So I'm going to go to my number 3, which is Robin Hood.
Mine too.
What?
It's Robin Hood.
You guys could agree.
Man,
I
we
like
didn't-
how you didn't agree on the last list at all.
The last
I
list,
know.
I was going to say the best. We weren't at all, except for
Yeah.
the first one. And now this one we're matching
Wait,
up.
don't you secretly wish they'd make a good Robin Hood, though?
They did in 1990
Is it
with
that
Robin Hood,
old?
Prince of Thieves. Robin Hood, directed by Otto Bathurst, who directed the first episode of Black Mirror.
The pig episode of
Remember
Black
that one,
Mirror.
guys?
Do you want to tell us more about that episode, Joel?
I would, but Claire Play cut out most of it. VidAngel cut out most of it.
Good.
Yeah. But this one stars Taron Egerton, Ben Mendelsohn, Jamie Dornan, and Jamie Foxx. And the IMDb plot summary says,
Yeah.
a war-hardened crusader and his Moorish commander mount an audacious revolt against corrupt English. If you don't know Arthurian legend, seriously, just it's Arthurian legend.
It's Arthur, but extreme, or Robin
Ooh,
Hood.
it's
I
like-
said Arthur because I keep thinking this is King Arthur too.
It basically feels
what
like
how
it.
I feel it
Oh yeah,
is.
did I say Arthurian legend? Yeah. If you don't know the story of Robin Hood,
We don't even
Sound like
know.
Joel.
oh man,
Just imagine this: it's Robin Hood, but in
Little
slow
John.
motion, flinging arrows.
What would you compare this to? It's like
It's
Robin
like
Hood
Arthur.
meets what?
A Knight's Tale.
No. That is an insult to a knight's
No.
tale.
But that's what I'm saying is they're trying to be A Knight's Tale, and it's not going to work because they're just being a little too kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're so funny, aren't we? And
Yeah,
I'm
it's more
like,
like-
no.
Robin Hood meets Fast and the Furious or
a
something.
little bit,
Yeah,
like
I
Triple
can see
X.
that.
Yeah, Triple X. That could be it.
Because it looks brainless. It doesn't have any of it doesn't feel medieval at all. It feels like it has 90s attitude.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, why
Does it feels
bother?
dated so fast?
Already.
does.
And I like Taron Egerton, but he's not picking some good roles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Ben Mendelsohn, who I
do-
like as an actor, he plays a villain in everything he's in.
He does. He can play a good guy. I want to read the last part
Because
of
he's
this,
evil.
of this IMDb synopsis just because I did want to get to it, but I messed up by calling it Arthurian legend. Dang it. So it says, Robin Hood, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's
in a
basically
thrilling action-packed adventure with gritty battlefield exploits, mind-blowing fight choreography, and a timeless romance.
That's the synopsis.
That's the IMDb official
They are
synopsis.
so trying to manipulate the audience with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Ken, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to do my number 2 as well right now, just because it's Bumblebee.
Oh, it's Bumblebee. Okay.
It's Bumblebee. My number 2 I want to bomb
Yeah.
is Bumblebee, and it's just because a lot of what you said, but the franchise is tired. It needs to go away, and I fear that if this movie does well, they'll be like, "Oh, we can do more Transformers
Yeah.
movies."
Jazz gets his own movie.
It's not and setting it in the 80s does not make it the beloved Transformers
No.
of the 80s. And throwing in a Rickroll into the middle of a
What was
trailer
that?
to be funny just felt dated as soon as it happened. And so I was just I don't think it's going to be terrible. I just want it to bomb.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So there you go. There's my number 2. Ken,
All right, my number 2. These guys have been in a funny movie for weird reasons, but I do not look forward to this at all. Holmes and
I
Watson.
knew this was going to be on your list. I knew it.
This is on my top list for sure.
So Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly,
Yes, who were in Step Brothers, which is actually surprisingly hilarious.
Step Brothers. Yes, not
Yes, Step Brothers.
yeah.
Also, the Ricky Bobby story.
Talladega Nights.
They are funny together, and honestly, this movie could be funny. It's directed by Ethan Cohen, who did Get Hard. He wrote Get Hard, Madagascar 2, and MIB 3. So not super illustrious. Not a director really knows how to hone these guys in.
What's the last good thing Will Ferrell did?
I like Other Guys, and
2006?
which was wait, no.
you like Daddy's Home?
You like Daddy's Home.
I did not.
You gave it a thumbs up on Baconsale
Gross.
approved.
I'm taking it off. No, I did not. I
Kent,
promise
why would
I
you
didn't.
do
did.
that? You're off the podcast.
No, I didn't. I promise.
You did.
I didn't.
I was like, wow,
Dare
you gave
you.
that a thumbs up.
that was a mistake. I thought it was like a horror movie
But
or
I'm
something.
okay. I can find it.
Well,
I'm going to
Dun,
read
dun,
through.
dun.
Seriously, aside from the Lego Movie, which he was kind of in, I'm looking at this and it's like Daddy's Home 2, The House, Zoolander 2, Daddy's Home, Get Hard, Lego Movie. There's the one. Anchorman 2, Legend Continues, The Internship, The Campaign, Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie, Casa de Mi Padre, Megamind, Button of Doom, and then Everything Must Go in Megamind. Probably 2010. Other guys is there too.
Wow.
2010 was his last kind of good run of movies.
so the synopsis is as follows, and it's very simple, but a humorous take on Arthur Conan Doyle's classic mysteries featuring Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
So it's Dr. Watson, Dr. Holmes, or Sherlock Holmes but they're funny this time.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. Like, I know they keep trying to push this, just like Robin Hood.
look,
Sherlock
this guy, he has to do
Holmes-
something, you know? He's got to do something.
Who does?
Will Ferrell.
If there's
He's like, I need something to do. What should I
Okay,
do?
are they going to have British accents?
Definitely not.
They're not at all. That will be part of the joke, maybe.
Probably.
But if there is a story that is more tired than Robin Hood or Arthurian legend, it's Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that
Yeah.
and the rivalry between not even an arch nemesis, but Moriarty. I'm sorry, but in the novels, Moriarty is not an arch nemesis and actually appeared very late
Push
in
your
the
nerd glasses
novelizations.
up. Nerd
Okay,
glasses.
here we go. But Ray
All
Fiennes
right.
plays Moriarty, which is fine casting, but who cares
Does he
now?
have a nose in this one?
Yeah, I think he does in this
Digitally
movie.
removed.
No, he digitally added it. He actually removed it for the Harry,
For Harry Potter.
movies.
Yeah, he took it off so I could be Voldemort.
And like Hugh
I'll do
Laurie-
anything for the role.
Hugh Laurie is Mycroft and Rebecca Hall is in it as well. But it's just like we've seen the BBC one, which is just drained in quality by now. We've seen the Robert Downey Jr. ones, which is going to get another sequel, I think, in a year and a
Yeah,
half.
They're going to get one more, I think.
Which is kind of tired already.
It's so dumb. It was tired to begin with.
It was. And why do we need to see a humorous take? If they go really rated R, maybe they're going to get a certain audience. Otherwise, people will be like, oh,
Except for
okay.
you said it yourself last year. Raunchy rated R comedies are not doing as well at the box
They're
office.
not.
No.
And
Look at Happy Time Murders, for example. That was
I'll go see
awful.
the PG-13 version of this.
Yeah.
as long as it has Venom in it.
If Venom's there, I'm in.
It's just like a team up. It's the PG-13 universe.
Yeah, it's PG-13 universe. That's how my world works.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give my honorable mentions before we do number ones.
Please do.
So I have The Silence, which Joel brought to my attention. This one comes out December 7th, and no one will hear about this one even when it comes out.
Because it's called The Silence.
Because it's called The Silence.
But why is that?
I don't have the synopsis, but it's a quiet place, but it's like the Asylum video version, where it's like Atlantic Rim to Pacific Rim.
Yeah, it's like a knockoff, it feels
It's
like.
a total
But it stars
knockoff.
like Stanley Tucci.
But come on,
Stanley
He's
Tucci's-
in every movie ever. Stanley Tucci was in all the the last two Transformers movies.
He was.
He likes a paycheck.
Wasn't he in? Yeah, he was the Merlin character in the Arthurian legend
Yes.
in Transformers.
And he's
5.
also in Transformers 4. He's like, you guys like music? Here's a Beats pill. And it's like, okay, you've
Yeah.
lost all credibility. But The Silence is basically a apocalyptic world where creatures that use sound waves to kill humanity. Or
They use
stalking
their
everyone.
special hearing to kill people. So
that sounds original. I also have The Grinch.
Can't wait.
Because it's The Grinch. And Mary Poppins Returns.
What? That's so mean.
Because who cares?
Because you hate
it's
America.
Emily Blunt.
I love Emily Blunt. This could be good because she does make good casting choices.
Mm-hmm.
But who cares? Julie Andrews is so great, and that role was so perfect as it was. Why do we need to see her fly back into town?
It's not a remake,
reboot.
though.
It's a sequel.
I know
it's
it's
a
a sequel.
sequel.
Who needs to see the extended story of Mary Poppins?
I do.
Everyone is. Wow.
Actually, I'll agree with
I
you.
did not expect that.
No, Mary Poppins is gorgeous. I'm going to back up that.
So you do want to see it.
And Kent, don't forget. No,
No?
no, you get what's his name? Oh, I just blanked on his name with your weird stuff you're just doing. Hamilton.
Oh,
What's his name?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No, the dude that
I know,
wrote
it's the
Hamilton.
guy with three names. People are screaming at us.
Oh my gosh, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You got it.
That's it. That's
Are
it.
you sure he didn't just yell? Was that like some sort of
Lin-Manuel
seizure?
Miranda. That's
Tourette's?
his name. His name is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
So she shows up on the Lower East Side. Is that where she goes?
He's Bert. So why are you hating on this?
He's Bert.
He's Bert.
That seems a little trendy, does it not?
It does, but at the same time, he's the new hotness. And
Okay.
he did great music with Moana.
Yeah, he did decent music with Moana.
Great music with Moana.
Yeah, pretty good.
Great.
So look, I'm sorry, but I just don't care. I mean, it's kind of like Christopher Robin, which I'm sure is a sweet and sentimental movie, but who asked for it?
Well,
And no, people saw it and they were like, oh, it's cute.
but
That's
it could be
about
a surprise. Look at Paddington. No one asked for Paddington, and it ended up being actually really good.
Yes, that's true.
I bet Mary Poppins ended up being good.
Yo, you bet.
I know, because they're smart about this. Like, they don't make a lot of mistakes at this
Yes,
level.
they do.
Star Wars.
Yes, they do.
How much money did that make? 1.3 billion?
About that.
Yeah, I don't think it was a total miss.
Which was why do you think Solo Bomb? Well, that's another show altogether. Solo Bomb because of Last Jedi. That is all.
All right, my honorable mentions. First of all, comes out October 19th. Serenity. Hashtag not my Serenity. Because it's about a woman that wants to kill her husband, not about anything having to do with the verse. and brown coats.
Honestly, I thought that would be on Ken's top list.
I
Nerd
seriously,
glasses.
It just bugged me that they're naming their movie Serenity when there's a rabid fan base for the movie Serenity that came out into the early 2000s.
I actually I'm okay with thriller movies that belonged in the 90s. I kind of like those movies, but the fact that I saw the whole thing play out in the trailer, I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah, they give away a lot in the trailer.
Yeah.
Also, Creed 2.
What? What?
The original Creed was captivating. Now they're cash grabbing.
He wrote a tagline.
Victor Drago.
Yep.
The Nutcracker
This
and
is
the Four
fair.
Realms just seems too weird.
I thought Disney doesn't make mistakes.
I didn't say that. He said that.
Yeah.
And
Jake.
then finally,
I said about big titles.
Nobody's Fool by Tyler Perry.
Oh, yeah.
So
That one.
You're like, you just did a search for Tyler Perry, and then
Did
you're
you
like,
just come up with that
whatever,
title and
whatever
then-
he's
Nope,
doing? I hope
it's-
that fails.
I was scrolling through. I was looking at trailers and I saw Nobody's Fool, but directed by Tyler Perry, and I'm like, nope. Want that bombed.
I feel like he just hears
I'll
Tyler
bet
Perry
you
hears
bombed.
words and then says, "I'm going to make that movie next week."
Yeah. I just made that
about
movie
right.
today. I just pieced together this footage that I shot in my house and then turn it into a movie.
Yeah.
So, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first because I want you to leave with the not sour taste, because mine is a little overly serious.
Okay.
Actually, because I generally go comedies, because if comedies fail, they are just terrible. Mm-hmm. But this one, I can't be bothered, and it's going to sound awful, but it's
It's probably the same as Joel.
family friendly me. It's on the basis of sex.
You're talking about gender there, so it's okay.
Yeah, on the basis of sex.
How dare you? Family
know.
friendly.
So this one comes out Christmas, 12/25. It is the story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her struggles for equal
Lin-Manuel
rights.
Miranda.
Yes, and what she had to overcome in order to become a U.S. Supreme Court justice. This is hero worship. Mm-hmm. This movie is, and granted,
And she's still a sitting Supreme Court justice.
she is. She's very old and has done a lot of great things on the Supreme Court, but who cares about movies about living Supreme Court justices? I mean, I know this is like a monumental person, but can we wait 20 years until we just like glorify
She'll still
someone?
be there in 20 years.
She will. I think she's actually like, I was going to get mean, but Psycho, a mother, has been. Do you like how I said I'm going to get mean and then I just went mean?
Do you like how Jacob and I are physically backing away from Ken right now?
But it's directed by Mimi Leder, who did Deep Impact and Pay It Forward, and then just TV shows since
Wait.
Pay It Forward.
So
Pay
why
It Forward
isn't
was
this
awful. Deep Impact was bad.
Yeah.
Why isn't this just in the indifferent column?
It just feels a little too
Okay, it
heavy-handed
feels
agenda.
honestly, it feels like Jackie, but without the talent behind Jackie. Because
Okay.
Natalie Portman,
Jackie
did
being
so
the Natalie Portman biopic of
she
Jackie
did
Onassis.
so well in that movie, and that movie was like an Oscar caliber movie. This feels like the same thing coming out a couple days before the end of the year.
You know it's going to get nominated.
It will be nominated, but like people that are in it, like and people that are part of it, even the writers are not even that good.
I haven't even heard of this, actually. And I even went through several lists of most anticipated.
I know it was coming through.
Like, is anyone going to know what you're even talking about right
At
now?
the end of the year,
listening?
yes, because there will be buzz around.
It's gonna be one of those Oscar nominated ones because it fits the.
It feels like a gimme.
It's the check boxes for the Academy.
And I think that's more where
it may
my
win most popular.
that's where my animosity exactly. That's where my animosity comes from. I'm like, okay, Oscar grab bag right here.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's my number one movie I hope will bomb.
my number one movie
I'm curious.
that I want to bomb.
You have surprised me over and over again. So
Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh my
now that's fair.
Hey,
Except that's
listener
the one I
emeritus,
thought Kent would
I'm
pick.
so sorry.
This was an honorable mention
Except
of
his
most
honorable
anticipated.
mention. Man,
Yes.
Of most anticipated.
Because
What is Baconsale
Now-
anymore?
Directed by David Yates, who did Deathly Hallows, Half-Blood Prince, Order of the Phoenix. You know,
some of those are terrible movies, by the way.
it's kind of the lesser Harry Potters, to be
Yes.
honest, except for the last two. The last two were solid. But
No, they were not.
I think they
of
were
the-
good.
Order of the Phoenix, if anything, was the best of those that you mentioned.
Yeah, but I really, you guys know I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I've won competitions on the show because I love Harry Potter.
Not the last one.
Shut up.
Love you.
But this stars Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Watson, Dan Folgert, and Johnny Depp. The summary is the second. This is the summary, the IMDb summary. Watch how lazy just the summary is. The second installment of the Fantastic Beasts series, set in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, features the adventure of magizoologist Newt Scamander.
That's it?
Newt is the
Wow.
most boring character that has ever been on screen.
Okay, so like I said, I love the Harry Potter books. I love the Harry Potter movies. I love the Harry Potter world. I've been to the studios in London and loved it, every minute of it, as my wife sat bored next to me the entire time.
Wait, this is that was on you? She didn't even want to go?
Well, she went.
She was at the Newt's Commander Museum.
She went because she loved me. But I have such a passion. And then I watched the original Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes.
Very underwhelmed. That was not my Harry Potter universe. And this movie seems to be doubling down on Newt Scamander, first of all, who's not an interesting character. And I know it's his franchise. But then Johnny Depp.
But it's going somewhere now.
But it's not.
It's tying in at this point.
No, that's just it. They are trying so hard to make this feel like a Harry Potter movie, showing Hogwarts, showing Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Trying to make it interesting. But I just can't get behind it. And it feels like...
Too little, too late.
If I may give a kind of analogy here.
Yeah, sure.
It feels like this movie came out of nowhere. Like, nowhere in the sense of there was no book behind it except for like a textbook, a little mini textbook.
Sure, yes.
They turned that into a movie. And then they kind of liked what they did. And so they're in the pool, but they're still holding on to the edge of the pool. They want to keep all the characters they had in the original movie. Instead of moving on to a different adventure in a different world, they're keeping all the same characters, including the comic relief, who it makes no sense for him to come back. And they're like, okay, we're going to bring back these characters that we know, and then we're going to make this really bad villain. He's going to be worse than Voldemort. And I'm like, no. You can't do that.
But he's already
undercut.
established, though.
But you can't undercut the power of Voldemort, and that's the problem with putting Grindelwald in here. Is either he's not as bad as Voldemort, or he's worse. And either way,
Voldemort was
doesn't
beat
fit.
by a 12-year-old. Hopefully, there's a villain
Hey,
worse.
he might have only been 5'2",
Guys,
but he was 17.
He was originally beaten. He originally beat him when he was a baby. Don't forget.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully
true.
Grindelwald is cooler.
But Voldemort was like this
Can you beat a
horrifying.
No, out of context for that.
It just bothersome to me that they keep trying to cash grab the Harry Potter universe.
But Joel, like the budget that went behind this and the effects and how it brings magic to the screen. I know you were underwhelmed.
Wait, you're
by
talking
the
about this
first
movie
one.
or Doctor Strange?
No, Doctor Strange was a ripoff of Inception. This movie where you can see magic happen on screen in these creatures, which granted may take away from
Are
the
you
cool
saying
narrative.
magic like there's magic, or that
No, I'm
the
just saying
story is magical?
effects. The story I don't even
But
know.
the problem
but
is-
the effects remind me of Harry Potter, and it brings you back into the world just a little bit,
But-
just enough.
Yeah, but
They also
bring you back into a
undercut-
world that you think is kind of
also-
mediocre anyway.
They also undercut some of the magic from the previous movies by breaking rules that were previously established.
Oh, here we go.
Creating new rules. Here's my nerd glasses.
Yeah,
Creating
right.
new rules that weren't in the original franchise. It just drives me nuts that they keep trying to do this.
But
And
Jude Law's Dumbledore. Is that not okay?
no,
I think it is.
because he's not Richard Harris. Not my Dumbledore. Hashtag.
You have
I
a
put-
lot
I put
of
the
not
hashtag
Dumbledores,
after.
actually.
No, Richard Harris was my ideal of what Dumbledore should be. Even Michael Gambon, I was not a fan of. And Jude Law, like when he's like, I can't go after him. I can't go after Grindelwald. Newt, you must do it. And I'm like, why? Like, why? And I'm sure we'll find out.
Here's the thing,
But it just bothers me.
I think they have 5 movies planned for this
Yes, they
franchise.
do.
It feels like they're playing their hand in the second one. Mm-hmm. And maybe they'll put it all on screen and say, yeah, there's even more story to come. But I'm sorry, like nobody wants to see Johnny Depp in this role. Please bring back Colin Farrell in some way.
That's the problem with all of Johnny Depp's off-screen drama.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if Grindelwald's going to be through the entire franchise, which then again undercuts the big bad.
Colin Farrell would have been a better villain the whole time.
Yes,
Probably.
totally.
Yeah, but then they wanted the big name of Johnny Depp, not knowing what they were getting
So,
into.
Joel, you're saying you don't want to come to the screening with me because I'm going to bring you to screenings again. And Jake, you
say
too.
that.
Oh, okay.
But no,
Unless it's this one.
I would like to know, listener, I would like to know if the fans of Harry Potter out there, if you're totally on board with this franchise, or if you're like me when you're like, this is not the Harry Potter of my birth.
Of your birth.
It's a reference to Far and Away. This is
Okay.
not the Ireland of my birth.
Pretty
Good
obscure,
reference.
man. Pretty
Yes,
obscure.
Seriously.
I like to dive deep.
Apparently.
Yeah. This is not the Ireland of my birth.
So, Jake, did we miss any?
Yes. So, Mortal Engines, where does
Meh.
that come into this? Because the budget on that looks wild.
Yes.
And
It will
it's also got, who's attached to that? Oh, no, it's
Peter
not.
Jackson's only producing.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not directing though, is he? So
Yeah, that one-
But it has the same look.
It just seems a little too far out there, and it doesn't have like the Mad Max built-in audience. I think it's going to bomb as well.
And the fact that they tried to take these young adult books and compile them so much, even if it's only the first movie, that's basically all we get.
It looked like a giant cliche in the trailer, which was the trouble.
It kind of did, but I like the concept.
No, like, yeah, the concept and the visuals look cool. And then they get into the plot, and I'm like, ugh.
It's cities,
Countries
mobile
are-
cities,
yes.
yeah, that are driving around, destroying and conquering other mobile cities.
Yes, it's cool. Alita, Battle Angel,
No.
Bomb.
Isn't Akira?
No, it's Alita.
Alita, that's
This
right.
was meant to come out 3 months ago. Was delayed till the end of the year, and like they know this movie will bomb.
I can't get past her freaky big eyes.
It's so weird looking.
because it's like half CG.
And okay, I should point out she's not. I'm not making fun of an actress.
Amanda
looks here.
Seyfried. Amanda Seyfried
No.
plays Alita.
No, they take this actress and they actually digitally enhance her eyes because she's supposed to be an android, and so she's got abnormally large eyes, and I just had a hard time getting past that.
The Old Man and the Gun.
Robert Redford's presumably final movie.
He said that for a while now.
I think it kind of has some charm to the trailer. Don't you
Kind
think?
of.
It feels like a throwback kind of charm. Okay,
Yeah.
You like what was the Robert Redford one where he's out at sea?
I didn't really like it.
You didn't like that?
No,
I thought you did.
it was like a C+.
That's liking for Kent.
Loved it.
That is. What about Peter Farley doing a serious movie?
That's kind of crazy.
And it
right?
actually looks
Which one?
legit. Green Book.
Oh yeah, with the
Viggo Mortensen.
no yes
and
the guy traveling around the world.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
That was actually looked not bad.
Both actors are great. I think the accent from Viggo Mortensen is
kinda
distracting,
crazy.
but he's such a good actor. I think
He
he'll
is.
pull it off.
He's a good actor.
And I think this movie will actually be kind of a great buddy.
It's gonna be
drama.
No, it
nominated.
does. It does look good.
Mark my
Yes.
words, that won't be nominated for either best actor or best supporting actor.
Yes,
You think it will?
I think it will.
I think it will too.
I mean, but Peter Farley, though, it's like, hey, what have you done? Oh, there's something about Mary.
Stuck on You.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then Green Book.
and then, yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is we encourage you to go look out there, see movie trailers that are coming up because, I mean, there's some good ones that are coming up. Look at the ones we talked about, but then let us also know if you're looking forward to any that are out there or want certain ones to bomb.
Yeah.
We're happy to hear that too.
We're sorry.
Let us know where we're wrong on our Facebook page or on our Twitter page or at baconsale.com, wherever you can find us. Oh, we're on Instagram too. You can find us there.
All those places.
Yes.
And patreon.com/baconsale.
Yeah. Or buy our merch at tpublic.com.
There's a lot of places to go.
Are we
Jake, we're just doing your job at the end of the show
basically.
now.
Oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
But if you want to find me, you can find me at 7-6Joel on Twitter, or you can find me performing at Quickwits. They perform every Saturday night at the Midvale Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quickwits Facebook page.
If you want to find me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. If you want to read my movie reviews, it's ShowtimeShowdown.com.
If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Jacob A. Rogers. Also find Baconsale on Twitter. And as Kent said, go to patreon.com/Baconsale and go check out. You can get if you're not a patron, you can go in and you can see what some of the content is that we're giving because we put videos and different things up all the time. That's really interesting stuff. And in the meantime, remember, just a spoonful of sugar can help Joel's bitterness go down.
If the show sucks, it's Kent's fault again. No, there's something bad about that.
It's not that hot.
It's not that hot in here, so keep on all your clothes. You can get leprosy by eating armadillos.
Well, Kent doesn't have to worry about that. That's an unclean meat.
Glub,
Sure.
glub, kiss, kiss.
This will be the second coolest Creed movie.
Number 4 is Ultra Camp Awesome.
All the way. Ultra Camp Awesome was the subtitle.
It's
I
a
am-
sequel to a spin-off of a sequel.
You hipster.
I will
What are
pay
you
money
doing here?
not to have to watch that.
Oh, what?
Just his weird face in the cover. I don't like it. It's unnatural.
With Steve Carell's face?
What?
Yeah.
You hate his face?
Yeah. Kent's a jerk.
It's official. I'm a jerk.
I have dolls that I've carved out that look like you guys so I can reenact the show so they go better.
Well, we gotta go.
It didn't quite land, but I still...
It landed like a turd in the wind. What do you mean?
They
Please be R.
I just wish you could squeeb.
go... Squeak!
It seems like people actually care. Please care.
I think it's just you.
Dun, dun, dun. Family friendly. Also family friendly myself.
Hey, that's noteworthy. I saw you hesitate.
You resisted. I'm marking that down.
If you
He has
want.
a 12-pack. They're abs on top of abs.
Yeah. Where do you want those
That
on
seems
top of?
unhealthy. It's Yetis who think that humans are the monsters.
Why would you want to see Channing Tatum like mumble through an animated movie?
Because you can imagine his abs. But you have Ryan Gosling to look at.
Is that insensitive?
It's a little insensitive.
Should I not laugh?
No, it's you.
But Oh wait, he's basically the dumb version of Mark Wahlberg, if that's even possible.
He's a lesser Channing Tatum. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
It won't be good, and I'm not going to see it. I like other guys.
Who needs to see the extended story of Mary Poppins?
I do.
Everyone is. Wow.
Actually, I'll agree with
I
you.
did not expect that.
No, Mary Poppins is gorgeous. I'm going to back up that.
Lin-Manuel.
Outtakes. Hey, this could totally be a. Yeah.
Lin-Manuel. No, dang it.
Tyler Perry hears words and then says, I'm going to make that movie next week. I was going to get mean. But Psycho, mother. Do you like how I said, I'm going to get mean, and then I just went mean?
Do you like how Jacob and I are physically backing away from Ken right now?
Oh, boy.
Way to own that joke.
You've made my day.
Yes.
And you kept going.
I just did the Quantum Leap music in bubbles.